Hello students, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to discuss about class 10 science chapter number 3, which is metals and non-metals. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the physical properties of metals along with non-metals, chemical properties of metals along with non-metals, and reaction it with oxygen, reaction with acid, reaction with metal solutions, reaction between metals, non-metals, ionic bond formation. In this chapter we are going to discuss about properties of metals and non-metals. So let's begin. So yes, first of all we are going to discuss about physical properties of metals and non-metals. Physical properties क्या होती है metals की and non-metals की. मेटल्स जो होते हैं वो लस्टर्स होते हैं. इट मीन्स मेटल्स के जो सरफेस होता है वो शाइनिंग सरफेस होता है. एंड नॉन मेटल्स का सरफेस शाइनिंग नहीं होता है. केमिस्ट्री वेयर एक्सेप्शंस, एंड इन दिस चैप्टर there are many exceptions in non-metals. Like exception is lustrous of except iodine. Iodine is the exception in non-metals in the properties of luster. These properties are very important for the board point of view. Second property is hardness. In physical properties of metal and non-metal, hardness. Metals are generally hard in nature, while as non-metals generally soft in nature. For example, if we take the example of sodium, lithium, potassium, these are the soft and can be easily cut with knife. These are generally the metals. In non-metals we take except diamond. Diamond is an exception which is very hard in surface and unbreakable from the hand of point of view. Exception diamond, a form of carbon which is the hardest natural substance. Diamond is a non-metal, so it is the exception. Third, state. State in metals they are generally solid in nature, and in non-metal they are in the form of solid or gases. Solid or gases. Fourth, where third exception, except mercury that exists as liquid. Mercury is an exception in metals that exist as a liquid state in the form of state, and except bromine that exists as liquid. In non-metal, bromine is the exception here. Whereas malleability, what do you mean by malleability? Malleable. It means the form of conversion and beaten into the sheets, thin sheets, in the form of thin sheet where it can be beaten, and metals can be beaten into thin sheet. For example, if we take an example of gold, silver, it can be beaten into thin sheets. So that is the example of metals. Whereas non-metals are non-malleable. It means they cannot be break down into thin sheets. They are just in the form of hard only. They are brittle. Fifth is ductility. Metals and non-metals. Metals में ductility. Metals can be drawn into thin wires. Ductile means in the form of conversion into the wire. Metals can be converted into the wire, whereas non-metal cannot be converted into form of wire. Conductor of heat and electricity. Metals they are the good conductor of heat and electricity both, whereas non-metals they are poor conductor of heat and electricity. It means that cannot consume heat and electricity more in the quantity. Except graphite. Graphite is a substance in the non-metal that can convert heat and electricity. Next is density and melting point. Metals have high density and high melting point, whereas non-metals have low density and low melting point. Exception is in the metals sodium and potassium, they are generally, and non-metals no exception here. Whereas sonorous it means streaking when they touch to the hard surface, they just strike or produce a sound, that is known as sonorous. When metal produce a sound on streaking a hard surface, whereas non-metal they are not sonorous. It means they cannot produce sound while streaking. Oxides, metallic oxide are basic in nature. What is the nature of metals? Metallic oxide are basic, they are basic in nature, whereas non-metal they are acidic in nature. It means their pH value is less. Chemical properties. What are the chemical properties of metals? First is reaction of metal with air. When metals react with air, then it forms metal oxide. For metal with oxygen, they form metal oxide. Whereas copper react with oxygen, they form copper oxide. Aluminium react with oxygen, it forms aluminium oxide. Magnesium react with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Different metals have different reactivity towards oxygen in the form of oxygen. For here, if we take sodium and potassium, they generally react so vigorously. It means so like fastly in the form of with oxygen, so that it can be catch fire if it is kept in open, and if it is they are kept in the tight packed airtight packed container. They cannot take fire, so they are kept in kerosene only. Surface of magnesium, aluminum, zinc and lead are covered with a thin layer of oxide which prevent them from further oxidation. Yes, iron does not burn on heating burn, but iron fillings burn. Yes, iron does not burn while heating. Their fillings just burn. Copper does not burn. This is coated with black copper oxide. Copper also does not burn. Next, amphoteric oxide. What do you mean by amphoteric oxide? With the metal oxide which just react with both acid and base, and they produce salt and water, that are known as amphoteric oxide. For example, if we take about Al2O3 plus 6HCl, it forms aluminium chloride. Same here, sodium aluminate is formed. Reaction of metal with water. When metal reacts with water, they produce metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas is released in it. When metal react with water, it forms metal oxide with hydrogen. Here if we take example, magnesium with water, then it forms magnesium oxide. MgO with water, it forms magnesium hydroxide. Sodium and potassium, they both react fastly with water. In this, metals with water. Sodium and potassium, they both are metals. So, magnesium metal reacts with hot water to produce magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Yes, this is common. Aluminium and zinc react with steam to produce metal oxide and hydrogen gas. Aluminium and zinc, when they both react with water or steam, then they produce metal oxide along with the hydrogen gas. Metals like silver, gold, copper, and lead do not react to water. These are the exceptions which do not react with water. Reaction of metal with acid. Metal when react with acid or dilute acid, they form salt along with the hydrogen gas release. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैग्नीशियम H2SO4 एसिड के साथ रिएक्ट करने पे MgSO4 विथ हाइड्रोजन गैस रिलीजेस. कॉपर, मरकरी and silver does not react with dilute acid. Reaction of metal with solution of other metal salts. Yes, in this, when metal A with salt solution B, they both react with each other, then they form salt solution along with the metal B. Salt solution of A along with the metal B. Reactive metal can displace less reactive metals from their compounds in solution form. Highly reactive element, less reactive element. This is the reactivity series for metals. Reactivity of series for metal. All the metal do not react with the same rate. All has the different rate for the reactivity. Some has higher time, some has lower time. So this is the reactivity series of metal. Yes, here you can see these are the most reactive metals in the reactivity series, and these are the least reactive metal in the reactivity series. Which is the most highly reactive element? This is the potassium. Potassium is the highly reactive metal in the reactivity series, and which is the least reactivity and least has the platinum. Platinum is the least reactive metal. This is the reactivity series which can be asked, and many questions can be formed from this for your examination point of view. This should be learned by each and every student for their papers and examination. Next, we are going reaction of non-metals. We have discussed about metals. We are going to discuss about non-metals. Reaction with oxygen. When non-metals react with oxygen, they form acidic oxide. Like carbon react with oxygen, that form carbon dioxide. Reaction with water. When non-metal reacts with water, then they do not release any electrons. उनमें से किसी भी प्रकार का इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रिमूव नहीं होते. उसको रिएक्शन विथ वाटर. Reaction with dilute acidic, it has no reaction between them. Reaction with salt solution, a more reactive non-metal will displace less reactive non-metal from its salt solution. Yes, it is like highly reactive element displaces less reactive element from its solution. Reaction with chlorine, when non-metals react with chlorine, they form respective chlorides. When non-metal reaction with hydrogen, when non-metal reacts with hydrogen, they form respective hydrides. Hydrogen with sulfur, it forms hydrosulfur. Aqua regia is a mixture of concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3 in the ratio of 3:1. It can dissolve gold and platinum. They can dissolve gold and platinum in them. And next, aqua regia is a strong oxidizing agent due to the formation of NaCl nitrosyl chloride and chlorine produced by reaction of two acids. Reaction between metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals. What are the reaction between each of them? Reaction of element is the tendency to attain completely filled valence shell. Valence shell electrons, they are filled completely in this. Atoms of metal can lose electrons from valence shell to form cations, while atoms of non-metal can give electrons in valence shell to form anions. जो मेटल के एटम्स होते हैं वो लॉस इलेक्ट्रॉन करते हैं वैलेंस शेल से, वाइल एटम्स ऑफ नॉन मेटल कैन गेन, एंड जो नॉन मेटल्स के जो एटम्स होते हैं वो गेन करते हैं. मेटल्स के जो एटम्स होते हैं वो वैलेंस शेल को लॉस करते हैं, एंड नॉन मेटल्स के जो होते हैं वो वैलेंस शेल को एनायन में रिमूव करते हैं. अपोजिट चार्ज आयन अट्रैक्ट ईच अदर, like plus minus, they attract each other and held by strong electrolytic force of attraction. Formation of NaCl. Student. So we are going to discuss now formation of NaCl sodium chloride. According to the structure, what is the atomic number of sodium? That is 11. So we can write here 2, 8 and 1. And what is the atomic number of chlorine? That is 17. So we will write here 2, 8 and 7. Sodium just loses one electrons, so we will write as 2, 8. And chlorine just gains an electron, we will write as 2, 8, 8. When we are going to make its structure, then Na will be has a single dot, and Cl has last 7, 7. So here we will make 7. When a dot will be transferred into this, then it will have Na plus, Cl minus, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with an extra dot added here. So I hope you understand this part 1 of metals and non-metal. Next we are going ionic compounds, metallurgy and corrosion in the next part of this video. So I hope you like this video. If you like the channel, if you like the video, then hit like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.